Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam or Weagle on Your Overwatch, back with a new video. Today, I want to talk about Tracer's viability, as well as like Roadhog, Genji, some solo queue stuff. There's a lot to go through, and I think it can be really helpful for you guys as well. I've been playing solo queue this week. Yes, that misconception in the community that we only play 6-stack is a lie. I've been playing solo queue actually for the majority of this week, or whether with a friend in duo queue, but effectively it's the same thing. When you're meeting up with a lot of people that you don't know on your team, anything can happen, and that's the solo queue meta. And I've been playing a lot of Tracer, and I've got very close to Grandmasters. I'm only about 100 points off now, and nearly every game I've gone into this week, someone has said to me, Tracer's not viable against triple tank, don't pick it, swap, please swap, don't go on Tracer. But I've got a 71% win ratio on her this week. She's in fact incredibly good against triple tank, and I'm going to tell you why. Now Tracer, and no one seems to know this, actually has some of the best burst damage in the whole game. She can do something like a 480 damage if she hits all the shots in the head every second, and she can shoot for 2 seconds. She can do an incredible amount of damage, and people just don't seem to realize that. Now, the reason that so many people have always managed to rank up to like Masters and Grandmasters on Roadhog, I would say he's the most played hero is in everyone's pool, like throughout the whole community. Like just about everyone can play Roadhog at that level, and the reason for that is Roadhog's potential to just deal burst damage. Trash damage is no good to anyone. Chip damage is useless. But Roadhog hooks someone in and kills them and wins team fights from that. Well, Tracer is very similar to that. Yes, it's a different skill set, but she can also stretch out the game. She can dodge Roadhog's hooks, and she can even take on McCree's as well if you keep your distance well enough. She's an incredibly good tool in the current meta because her damage is so much better than what people think. You can simply blink in and melt a healer straight away, or if there's a Roadhog that's being attacked, you can jump in and just melt him and he will just fall. He just doesn't stand a chance. And the thing is, people don't realize that, and that's maybe because not a lot of people are good with Tracer, or it's just not super well known yet. But she also has her pulse bomb, which is what I'll get into now, which again is just massive burst potential. Whether you want to get rid of the Reinhardt by zipping behind him, slamming it on his back and shooting him a little bit, you get the kill instantly. They have no shield and you just win the team fight. Similarly, you can just do that to a healer, stick a healer, blow him up. This also in the current meta, D.Va is being used all the time. But if you're running Tracer Zarya, well, Zarya is great against D.Va. Once the Graviton comes out, you can just stick the bomb to the whole enemy team and blow them all up. Tracer is incredibly viable and very strong in the current meta. I will come back to her in a bit, but the next thing to go into is Genji, which is an issue I'm seeing all the time still. Genji, for a long time, was the go-to hero to carry, to do a lot of damage, to wreck the enemy backline and cause them all a lot of hassle. But the thing is, Genji isn't good against triple tank, and I keep seeing people playing Genjis into Winstons and D.Vas at like Masters level and nearly Grandmasters, and it never works. Every time someone picks Genji just about, we end up losing, and it's nothing to do with someone's individual skill. Even in the middle of a game, I could ask someone, could you please swap Genji, we're playing into triple tank, and they get mad at you, yeah, because I'm the problem. I'm not saying that, man. I'm saying that they counter you, and that's the problem with Genji right now. He has no burst damage potential. He can't really kill an Ana on his own unless you hit all the right shots, and she's not being protected, and she doesn't sleep or Ana nade you. There's a lot of issues for Genji in the meta at the minute, and he just doesn't have the sustainability that Tracer has or the burst damage. A nanoed Genji sword can be good, but is it better than a soldier as your secondary DPS along with Tracer? And that's the other misconception, is you don't have to run all these tanks, and we talk about the 6-stack meta and what can be used a lot, but in the solo queue, anything kind of goes. But if they've got triple tank, Genji isn't the solution. Now, another thing I've had people say to me recently is, don't pick Reaper. Reaper's no good against triple tank. And I just don't understand. Reaper has huge burst potential. Yeah, Nano isn't as good on him anymore, but it still can be if coupled with a speed boost at the same time, or even just good positioning. Me and FREEDO yesterday played solo queue for about 3 or 4 hours, or duo queue, before anyone corrects me. And it's the same thing, right? It's the same solo queue stuff. We just played Tracer Reaper and the tanks just get melted. You take different angles of approach and dismantle the enemy team. That's another thing Tracer's good at over Genji, is her mobility. Yes, Genji's is good, but Tracer can literally zip in, zip out, safe, just about every time. Genji can maybe double jump in and try and swift strike out, but it's always going to be riskier. That also stretches out the game as Tracer, and it makes tanks not stick together or focus fire. Meanwhile, your team can then take some better angles and deal more damage elsewhere. I can't tell you how many times I've been such a problem for people on Tracer that I'm dealing all this damage and that 2 or 3 of their team will just chase me. Well, that's a win-win, even if I die, because my team are then 5v3 and they're always going to win that fight. She's just an incredibly useful tool at the minute, but no one really seems to understand it. Now, there is things like gun skill, for example, and your game sense on Tracer. You can't just pick her and win games. It's not that simple. You do have to be good at her mechanically in game sense, and you also have to not tilt off the side of the planet when your Genji is blaming you as Tracer. Well, we have a Genji, why are you Tracer? Well, because she's actually really good against triple tank, as you guys will have seen in the gameplay throughout this video. Now, there are a lot of misconceptions in the community, and I've cleared up that one, and Reaper as well is good against tanks if you're playing him right. Soldier's awesome, but not as good as people think. If they're playing Soldier, and maybe you even have a Zen, which I've found out works great with a Tracer, is you can just put a Discord on a Soldier and the Tracer's gonna win that fight, unless he gets the Helix Rocket off. But again, she has the mobility, sustain, and move away from that. The last thing that she's really good for is if you're in a team that feels like you've got no hope. Say your team's just stood at the choke, just poking damage and not really getting anywhere. Tracer can just build up her ult really, really quickly, get in, stick something, blow up a key target, and then you get the point. Other heroes can't do that. Doing that with Genji's difficult. He shouts out when he has his sword. Tracer, she's pretty silent. You get in, stick it out, gone. Genji just screams his sword in the air, jumps up in the sky, and then just gets slept most of the time. And Tracer's just good all around at the minute if you have the game sense and the utility to use her. Now, the other misconception in the community at the minute, oh my god, Symmetra, who's getting Symmetras on their team? Well, I have played Symmetra once myself in a game, and I won the game. And every other time someone said to me, oh, I'm playing Symmetra, I'm good with Symmetra, I have 70% win ratio, we lose. And the reason for that is all kinds of misconceptions, but one of them is that it's okay to have her and then like a solo healer. Now, these can work if you have Symmetra, Ana, then you would need Roadhog, probably Mei, probably Soldier, because you need the self-sustain and healing. If you don't have that and you take one healer and then you're running McCree and Reinhardt, you're not probably going to get enough healing from your teammates. So Symmetra at the minute as well isn't actually as good as you would think, depending on the rank that you're at too. So lower ranks, I know Symmetra absolutely dominates, but the higher that I've managed to climb, Symmetra's not as big of an issue. I've seen games and actually played in some as well when we were playing with some lower ranks on our streams, where we would take Symmetra and Torbjorn on defense, and the enemy team just can't get anywhere near you. You've all got 300 HP. The new shield generator is great for Symmetra if you don't find it and destroy it. And solo queue's just this whole crazy mess. And we did a video recently on it about how don't follow the meta too much in solo queue, because yes, in 6 stacks when everyone's organized, triple tank is great and it's hard to break it apart. When you're not playing it properly or communicating properly, the meta doesn't necessarily mean a lot. And 71% ratio on Tracer when everyone thinks she isn't viable really shows that that is true within the meta. But the crazy thing is, even in an organized team of 6 stacking, Tracer is also an absolute animal. Mainly because, again, Zarya you can couple her ult with yours, or your Ryan slam down. You can just do so much with Tracer's ult. It's one of the fastest to build in the game. There's Roadhogs everywhere, and you just get free charge off of his fat face. So, guys, Tracer's sick. Reaper's sick, and in solo queue, kind of anything goes. Don't worry too much about the meta, especially when someone's picking Tracer. Now, Genji is a no-no in like 90% of games, especially if they've got a heavy tank setup, because he does not have the utility to do it. Now, I know Genji mains in the comments, I'll see you in there. I'm really sick as Genji, I kill Roadhogs all the time, but if you were as sick at Tracer as you are Genji, you would definitely have a better time, and that's just how it is, because she right now is a lot better than he is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to check out our Discord, our Twitter, our Twitch, where we live stream just about every single day. You can also group up with people in Discord, which is awesome. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.